Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today I will be taking a look at Russian bias in War Thunder. I will explain what Russian bias is, prove its existence. I'll tell you some reasons why many think Russian bias isn't a thing, or at least not to the extent people say it exists. And all of that with a little bit of attempts at comedy. I hope you enjoyed this video and let's jump right in. A quick disclaimer before we begin. I myself play mostly ground battles and thus I'm going to look mostly at Russian ground bias. But I will do my best at trying to look at naval and air as well. So what actually is Russian bias? Russian bias is a theory that the Russian tactics in War Thunder has unrealistic and historically inaccurate benefits. The Russian bias would be a thing because of Gagin's naturalist ideals. For those who don't know, Gagin is a company with Russian origins. But let's get back to explaining what Russian bias is. For example, during the Second World War, the Russians mass-produced the T-34 tank. This tank suffered more than 80% losses during the Second World War. Meanwhile, the German army lost 32,800 armored vehicles on the Eastern Front, compared to 96,500 Russian vehicles. This would make about a 3-to-1 kill ratio for the German armored vehicles. Meanwhile, in War Thunder, the T-34, the 3485 in this case, can drive around the battlefield relatively unscathed. In War Thunder, the T-3485 can, quote, easily eliminate any opponent it faces at the 5.3 battle rating. From now on we will refer to battle rating as BR. In this article it also is said that the Tiger tank of the German Tech Tree is oftentimes forced into urban combat in which it get easily, quote, one-shotted. I will give a little bit of opinion and further explanation on this article. While it is true that if the player is skilled enough, the T-3485 can easily survive the rounds. However, the same goes for the Tiger tank. But no tank in War Thunder can drive around the map without getting noticed. Well, maybe if the enemy team is completely incompetent. It's also said that the T-3485 can easily one-shot any enemy tank. While it is true that if a good shot is landed on a Tiger or Panther turret, it can certainly destroy the tank. But if it's not a well-placed shot, it won't go through. The T-34's gun is not strong enough to penetrate the Tiger's front armor, let alone the Panther's. It is however true that the T-3485 can kill a Tiger, Panther and possibly even a King Tiger with a side shot. But so could any American tank at the same battle rating. This article also seems to agree with the point some German players make. This being Germany suffers. This will be the topic of another video. Now that we touched on what Russian bias is, let's see why people think it exists. So why do people think it exists? Well, because they are werewoos. No, but seriously. Let's explore the people that agree with the Russian bias theory. Why do they think Russian bias exists, and why would Gagin add this to the game? I found a Reddit post with some of the reasons why listed. Number 1, the highest win rate at top tier. Number 2, the most vehicles. Number 3, the lowest repair costs. Number 4, artificial buffs to Soviet vehicles, such as the lack of spar on top tier tanks. Number 5, completely under-tiered vehicles like the BMP-2M and the PT-7657. Let's take a quick look at these points. Point 1, the highest win rate at top tier. This is indeed a true statement. The Russian tech tree has the biggest win rate at top tier. This is because there are a huge amount of vehicles at top tier in the Russian tech tree, which are also the best, coincidentally. This could very well be because of Russian bias. Number 2, the most vehicles. I counted them all. Yes, I did. There's no number online. The Russian ground tree has a total of 92 vehicles without premiums. The tree has 50 premiums. Let's compare this to the US tech tree. The American tech tree has 69. Nice. None premiums. And 39 premiums. This is indeed a huge difference. The Russian tech tree has 7 T-34s and the American tree has 6 M4s. This amount could very well be bias. But it could also just be coincidence. The lowest repair cost. Fuck yeah, this is bias. It really is. No spar. For those who don't know, including me before I made this. Spar for the USSR top tier. Spar for the USSR top tier works like this. Russian tanks have autoloaders in that top tier. Their ammo is stored in the charge ring. When the ring gets hit, the ammo should explode. I don't know if this no spal thing is still an issue nowadays, but in this case the ammo gets hit and thus explodes. on these tanks, this should mean the turret should fly off into the air, as seen on this video. This, however, did not happen to these tanks. That was blamed on Russian bias, which of course makes quite a lot of sense. On the T-H vehicles. For this one we will take a look at BMP-2M. The BMP-2M is a Russian vehicle at 9.3. The 2M has a strong autocannon and guided missiles. Many people say this vehicle should be updated because of how capable this vehicle is in destroying anything at its BR. I will also add to this conversation on why Russian bias does exist. For this I will be using the plane on screen right now as an example. I myself quite often play with the Yak-2 Kap. This is, or KABB, I don't know. This is an airplane at 2.3 BR for realistic battles. The plane has two 20mm and two 7.62mm guns. On top of that it can carry 4 100kg bombs. With the 20mm it easily takes out planes and vehicles at its BR. I often find I can kill planes up to BR 5.3 and the 100kg bombs are more than capable of dealing with Tiger tank when you are precise enough. The only real downside is the plane's maneuverability. Do I think this is Russian bias? Not really, there's a bit of it maybe. The plane would underperform at any BR higher than 3.3. But I do think it's quite odd that a 2.3 plane can easily deal with 5.3 vehicles. And sometimes even higher. The 20mm can of course deal with any plane at its BR and more often than not at any higher BR. While I myself don't exactly think this is bias, I could understand others saying it is. This is where I will end this chapter of the video. Now let's move on to why Russian bias couldn't be real. First of all, people oftentimes say Russian bias is real because of the fact that Guardian is a Russian company. While this is true, the HQ of Guardian is currently stationed in Budapest, which as you might know isn't in Russia. I also don't think that Guardian has a lot to earn from figuratively sucking Russia's hot dog. It's not like the Russian government will get out a bag of cash and dump it on Guardian's desk because they've been a good boy. Also, I hope. Now, it is indeed possible that there are some Russian nationalists working at Guardian, but I don't think that if this is true, that's the reason for the supposed Russian bias. As mentioned in a video by Spookston, Guardian is a business. At the end of the day they need money. If they purposefully made the Russian tech tree significantly better, this would mean that they lose customers, which isn't something you would find in a guidebook to a successful business. There's also an assumption that all players play tanks from their own nation, which as you yourself may know, isn't true 9 out of 10 times. And even if this was true, this would again mean that Guardian would use a huge amount of its players, all players outside of Russia, which would mean great losses for the company. Guardian regularly releases overpowered premiums. They do this for all tech trees. This is again because people will buy them if they are overpowered. After a while they usually up-tier them. Again, Guardian is a company and thus needs money. That's why they do such things. There's a big Russian player base for War Thunder, which could again be seen as a reason for Russian bias. But again, Guardian also has a big player base outside of Russia, which also would be quite a good reason why Russian bias couldn't be real. Before we move on to the conclusion of this video, let's take a look at the thoughts of the Reddit War Thunder community on Russian bias. I made a post on the official War Thunder subreddit, and boy did I make a mistake. So as you may have noticed, I got quite a lot of comments which I didn't expect, but let's take a look at a few. It doesn't. I now pronounce you husband and wife. He's not Russian. No. He exists. No. Yes! Now that we've taken a look at the smartest comments on this subreddit, let's take a look at the less educated. As the more observant among you may have noticed, I didn't narrate any of that. If you want to, you can pause the video and read it on your own. So if you were able to stick around with my annoying voice narrating this video, then let's move on to the conclusion. Is there such a thing as Russian bias? There's no real answer to this question, it's an opinion really. There are some cases of Russian bias, like mentioned in this video, but there are a lot of reasons why there wouldn't be such a thing. I myself do think there's a form of Russian bias, but it's just blown way out of proportion by the player base. While there probably is some bias, this still doesn't mean there is no skill needed to play with the Russian tech tree. In short, I would say there is Russian bias to some degree, such as the down-tiering for vehicles that should obviously be in higher tiers. But it's not the evil Guardian employees sitting behind their desk trying to ruin the game for anyone who doesn't play the Russian tech tree. They obviously ruin for anyone, including the Russian mains. Thank you for watching this short Iceberg video. Let me know your opinions in the comments. Like and subscribe if you like what you see, and turn on notifications to never miss any videos of mine, which you probably do want to miss. Remember to keep your conversation in the comments civil. Let me know what topic I should attempt to explain next. And I'll see you guys very soon.